You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet.
Hey guys, another exciting episode of the NukeStream. Let me know if you guys can hear me well. Yeah, and like King Trust says, like the video on the way in. Support the channel by liking, super chatting, subscribing, leaving a comment below after for any suggestions or comments you'd like to add to the topic. You guys know where to find me. Linktree. Put it in the chat now. All right. Yeah, guys, and you got so for the for the coaching, if you guys are interested, just DM me on Twitter or Instagram, and we'll set up. You just give me your two best times, and then we can go from there. We can talk to you guys about your girl problems or any issues you're having or hangups or just things that you just don't understand or get. Yeah, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. Twitter is where all the fun, I have all my fun. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, if you guys don't know this yet, is when I stream at 7 p.m. Central Time. I choose topics. I try to mix it between red pill and actual actionable dating advice and all that stuff and all that. And then on Saturday mornings at 10:30 Central, I have Rule Zero with the guys. And then Dragon Ship after at 12:30. And then on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., I have Post Zero. So those are the shows I do. Sometimes I'm not available for some of those shows because of other commitments and stuff like that. But I try to make all of them. And yeah, if you guys want to become a member for the channel, that's good too. So, anyways, guys, let's get right into it. Today is a topic that a lot of men struggle with, a lot of people struggle with, because it requires a lot of inner work and a lot of kind of getting over your ego, getting over yourself, realizing, hey, you're not that important, you're not that awesome, but that's actually good news. That's a very good thing that you're not that important, right? Who wants to be that important in today's society? There really isn't much reward for it anyway. So yeah, guys, if you would like to leave a super chat during the show, I will stop and read it. But we got lots to talk about today, so let's just move on. So I see we have Matthew W. How you doing, sir? And we have Godspeed in the chat. All right. So basically, rejection, right? How to take an L, how to with grace. Like guys that know and understand this stuff know that life as a man is taking L's, is getting rejected, not only by women, but by everyone. It could be jobs, it could be friends, it could be opportunities, whatever. You will be rejected, and you will feel stupid. You will feel kind of bad, right? But it's not something to run to a therapist about. It's not going to cause you PTSD. It's going to toughen you up. Rejection is really good for you. Um, and you don't want to make it like some kind of like thing that you want to avoid, some kind of evil thing that if you avoid it enough, you'll be safe from it. Like humans don't want to face reality sometimes. And reality is like, hey, not everyone wants to be around you. Not everyone wants your skills. Not everyone thinks you're attractive. And that's a lot of struggle for a lot of guys to realize that most women don't want you, no matter how much how jacked you are, handsome, money. Most women don't want you, right? And it has to be that way, guys. Uh, you can't live in a world where if you do a certain set of things, you'll get all the women. Now, are there celebrities that get pretty much a lot of the women? Yeah, but there's so little, and they don't have enough time to fit in so many women, right? And also, they have to deal with court of public opinion. So a lot of celebrities, eventually, if they enjoy themselves too much, they get in trouble, or they tend to. A lot of them still are like blue pill alphas, where they settle down and get absolutely destroyed by their wife. Decades of misery because they thought getting married was the right thing to do, and all that. So at the end of the day, guys, rejection is inescapable. You will be rejected, and trying to run from it or protect yourself from it is very childish and will get you nowhere. Um, and we don't want that, right? We want everything. We want to stumble forward when it comes to this stuff until you get a little bit of it. You hit your stride enough to where you can actually walk and then run and then eventually relax. Um, anyways, I think rejection is something that right now, especially the younger generation, like the Zoomers, is something that they get a lot, but in a different way. It's more online because Zoomers tend to live more online than any other generation before them. But there is rejection in person and there's rejection online. And I'll tell you the difference between those, and we'll get into that, right? Um, but let's start. Well, like I was saying, rejection is part of a man's life. It's normal. And then you got to realize that most girls will tell you no, right? And you don't want all girls to tell you yes. It'll take the fun out of, dating, your conquest, and all that stuff. However, I do understand that too many no's can wear people out, and it can wear a guy out. It can make him feel like he's not good enough or he's not special, blah, 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 right? So we don't want that either. And realize too, though, having said that, players get rejected the most. Men that go out there and seek women and decide to take the monumental task, the near impossible task of talking to women and dating in today's market, they get rejected the most. They're the ones that go out to talk to women, or maybe they don't go out specifically to talk to women, but when they see an opportunity, they see an opportunity, right? And then they talk to women, right? And they get rejected all the time, right? But they don't take it personal. And if they do, they get over it and all that stuff. And they realize that, hey, it's not that she rejected me because of who I am. She rejected a presentation of who I am, right? And that's why it's important to use rejection as also constructive feedback, but not in the way that makes you feel like you are let beneath the girl. It just means that you didn't present yourself the right way, or simply she just wasn't in the mood. So many things can be happening in a girl's head, in a girl's life, and it it's this war that it's one of the psychological tricks or weapons or advantages, if you will, that women have, is making us think that it's always our fault and us believing it, right? And rejection is one of those things. I want you guys to really understand this, that their weapon is making you think everything is your fault and that everything it can be fixed by you and destroyed by you, and that you are the one that causes all the bad things in society to happen, right? That is their weapon. They use guilt, shame, blame, everything, and the reality is that that's not for you. That if you need to get that out of your head, right? If you're having trouble with women, they will try to label you an incel, right? Are you an incel? An incel is a person that's involuntarily celibate. And how do we define that? Is it a day? You know, you get rejected by a girl once, and now you're an incel because you wanted to have sex with that girl, or at least go on a date, and she said no. Is it a week? You know, you struck out with two girls in 1 week, and you're not having any sex that weekend. You know, is it a month, 6 months, a year? You know, are people that are sick and unable to have sex, are they incels? Um, are people that simply are too broken to date for a while? They're just tired. They're burnt out. Are unable to get out there. You know, are they incels? Like these definitions keep changing, and it's always the definition will always benefit women and for their. So don't pay attention to that, right? It's not a big deal. You know, everyone has a phase in their life where they just don't get laid that much, right? And there's different reasons for that. That's not your fault, right? But at the same time, you have to do something about it, right? You can't just wallow in your self pity. Uh, just like most things that men have to deal with, it's really not our fault, but we have to fix it. So, or deal with it, or go have a way around it, or something, right? But we can't just kick it back to women and be like, "This is your fault too." No, like that's never gonna work. You know, having women when they women love when they blame us for something for us to kick it back to them because that you're engaging them in a blame war, right? And women love that. Women absolutely enjoy that because they always have something. They always have their trump card, right? And the trump card is, well, that must be the girls you're talking about or that you talk to, or where are you finding this woman, right? Not realizing that most women are the same in the way they do things, and the differences are not that big, and also that it's again using their biggest one of their biggest weapons in their arsenal is, hey, everything is your fault, do better, even though um, it's really not, and it never will be, and it's not for you to accept fault. However, you have to do something about it. All right. um, so the first thing you must always do when, and it's hard, right? Because you know, the ego is sneaky. You have to get rid of your ego. Ego is a very sneaky thing when it comes to dating, right? uh, it really takes a grasp on men, and it doesn't let men see the ways they're doing things in a negative light. It's hard to self critique yourself when you have an ego, right? For example, you go out with a friend and you know you're talking to girls, and I'll say, hey, look, those girls, let's go talk to those, let's go open those girls up over there. At least say hi or something, right? Um, an ego will be like a guy with an ego will say like, no, I'm just not in the mood tonight, or no, I don't know, the girl on the left is a little chubby, but when she looks perfectly fine or whatever, and all that. So they make up excuses not to talk to women, not because the girl is actually maybe 10 pounds slightly overweight or something weird, but simply because they're not in the mood for their ego to get hurt, right? So when this happens, it's hard to self critique. It's hard to like move the needle in terms of your dating life because you're constantly looking for excuses to protect or and run away from a possible rejection, and you don't want that. There are tools that help you get through a rejection, um, but for the most part, the ego is what's going to stop you before you even start, right? And you have to get over that. Realize that no one is watching you get rejected. When was the last time you guys saw someone in public get rejected? Maybe on a TikTok video and that got sensationalized, but there's people getting rejected all around you sometimes. You don't even notice, right? You see a guy and a girl having a conversation, and you look, the girl could be look like she's super into him, but um, as you walk by, you're like, wow, he's gonna take her home tonight, and then you see him walk away and he comes back to you and you're like, hey dude, how'd it go? You guys look like you were hitting it off. She's like, oh, she has a boyfriend, or oh, she's not interested, or she's not, she didn't want my number or something. And you're just like, what the heck? You're like, yeah, but that's how it is, guys. Like no one's really watching, and if anyone sees you talking to a girl, they're gonna be like, wow, he's talking to a girl, that's pretty cool, at least in the guy's mind. um so don't sweat it. Don't worry about public opinion. No one cares, right? No one really cares that you get rejected. And no one cares either that you take her home. right? Unless someone in that social circle or someone that you know sees you and they want it for themselves, or they just want to congratulate you. But at the same time, no one really cares. Or she has a boyfriend that, you got to be careful with that. So no one really cares. And that's okay. And that's why I say these guys are so obsessed with people caring about them and their mental health and all this stuff. That's bullshit, right? You don't want people that you don't know caring about you. It's disingenuous. And also, you don't they're coming from a place of pity, not from I actually want to help this person because I see potential in them, right? You don't want to worry about what people who say they worry about you in the future of men. That's all disingenuous. The hotline numbers, the we need to worry about men and what they, men aren't getting laid. Like, yeah, men are getting laid, but your problem is not men. Your problem is you. It will always be you. You cannot control other people. If a guy decides not to get in the gym and not to talk to women and to play video games all day and to not live life and be a recluse, that's his problem, and you'll never ever convince that. And no one else will. He has to do it himself, right? Just like you have to do things yourself. There is no one on earth that can convince all men to be better. Only they can convince themselves to be better, right? Um, so uh, this is the hard part, especially for a lot of people, is that you need to realize that you're not important. Again, you're not important. You ain't shit, and that's okay. It's very freeing when you realize this, that as you're growing up and you feel this pressure of having to be someone on social media because of FOMO and you want all this clout and all this stuff, realize that as you go through life and you start meeting these people and seeing how their real lives are, right? You start to really see the pathology behind how some people really sensationalize their lives, but in real life they live very boring, drab lives, and they're trying to run away from their real life and live in this kind of like fake life of social media, right? Men, if you guys don't understand why people do this, like think of video games, right? Like think of you just got yelled at by your boss, you got rejected by a couple girls, you got into a fight with your roommate or your family member or whoever, and then you turn on Helldivers, right? And you go on there and you talk to a bunch of people and everyone say, hey, what's up, man, how you doing, how's everything? And you connect with some people online and you kill a couple giant bugs, and everyone's like, wow, dude, that was amazing, you're awesome. And then you keep getting you collect all these little tokens, and then you do all these things on this map and you get all this dopamine, right? But that's just escapism. That's not real. I enjoy playing that video game, but it's not real. It's your escapism, right? And that's how women see social media, is their escapism. Because while maybe in real life women don't get the men she wants, or she has issues with her family, or she's not feeling like she's attractive enough to live the privileged life that maybe her friend or some social media personality that also is faking it, she can go on social media and filter 20 pounds down. She can get that nice looking nose and shave down that chin or whatever body part that's flattering on her, and then she can go online and she can get attention from men. And if you take it a step further, you can go on Twitter and you see women that do all this, plus now they want men to validate their opinions, right? And all that. And sometimes they just want men to argue with them because they want to feel alive. They want to feel like that victimhood. They want to feel it and feel alive, right? So uh, it's all fake, and that's why when you get rejected by a girl, right, don't take it personally, right? Because though you may get rejected, like let's say you approach a girl once a week, right, in real life. I'm not talking about Tinder, that's a different story, but you approach one girl a week, whether it be at a social event like salsa, a pool party, a coffee shop, on walking your dog, whatever you're doing, you get rejected by one girl a week, right? Cool. That girl, rejection is different for women, right? Because you might not understand why women try so hard on social media. You may not understand why women wear the scrunch leggings that ride her butt crack. You may not understand all that, right? And she may not understand either, right? You may not understand why women travel 3,000 miles to get a risky surgery, of which is almost twice as risky as childbirth, um, and all that. You may not understand all these things, but you have to kind of put yourself in their shoes and realizing that women are doing all these things just for a shot at a top man, and they have to face rejection from these men on the daily basis because they may have sex with these men They may be these guys' orbit, but they will never be able to get that commitment, right? So you may think one rejection from one girl who may not even be good in bed, who may not even be a pleasure to be around, who may be a catfish. You have no idea what she's hiding under all that shapewear that you saw when she was wearing, who may have health diseases, maybe an incurable STD you don't know about, right? Who maybe gets super clingy and dangerous after you hook up, who may have a boyfriend and bring more problems to you than you want, right? And also who may have no hygiene down there or here or anywhere around your body. Also, who may eventually become your girlfriend and become a nuisance in your life because you don't really like her that much, or you break up, right, or something, right? And you are thinking that you're a worthless human being because that girl who you've put on a pedestal already is rejecting you, right? One day, if you guys aren't there already, one day you're going to get to the point where when a girl rejects you or flakes on you, you're going to breathe a sigh of relief, right? Because now you're off the hook. Let me explain. When you're off the hook, when a girl rejects you, um, basically, first off, she's communicating to you, hey, I don't like you. There are women that marry men they don't like and waste 20, 30 years of their lives just hanging out with this guy, giving him minimal sex. And it's his fault too, right? But everything would be better if she just would have rejected that guy when she met, right? So is rejection really that bad? Rejection is basically saying, I don't want to waste your time. I'm not interested. And guys, time is something you'll never get back. There's always going to be another woman, right? Trust me, I'm 35, and there was a girl who I met when I was in college, and she had the fattest ass and the thinnest waist. She was gorgeous, and I fumbled her, right? I had her in an apartment. She said she wanted piano lessons, and she would just come upstairs and play my piano, and I never made a move, right? And I fumbled her, and I always thought in my head, I'm never gonna meet a girl like this ever again. Like, there's no way. The proportions are insane. She's Puerto Rican. She's very attractive. Lo and behold, 2021, I moved to Dallas. In May, I meet a Dominican chick who was even hotter, and I got to see multiple times, right? And she fell into my lap even easier, and I didn't even have to try that hard, right? So that's abundance, meaning that when you're younger, you don't have that abundance because you get rejected a lot more than when you start getting older. So what happens is you feel like, hey, every girl that you meet is like a one-time opportunity that you have to take because you don't know when the next time you're going to get laid, right? But we'll talk about more about that later. If you guys are liking the show and you feel like this is helping you, please send a super chat if you'd like. Comment. Let's get this chat more active, guys. Ask questions. I'm open to questions and all that. So thank you. So all it comes down to for this ego stuff, right? A lot of guys have ego because they want control, right? Control over stuff they don't really have control. That is like what the trad guys and the Christian bros and Save the West guys, they all have this feeling that they well, not a feeling, but they all want control. It's not about morals. It's not about what's right for the country, right? It's about control, right? I want to control these outcomes, right? So they're so big on vetting. Oh, vet a woman. A woman must be like this, like this, like that, like that. And if she is those things, she'll never leave you, right? And I'm like, no, because women change. You're getting a snapshot of her in that moment. She can change. She could become a different person a year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years from now. And women do become different. They have a kid, they become different, right? They suffer family issues and death and all that stuff. They become different. They can get ill, severely ill. They can find out they have a chronic disease or cancer and they change, right? You cannot use this vetting stuff as a way to be like, hey, if I vet a girl, she'll never leave me. That's control. You're bidding. It's a bid for control in a universe that doesn't give a shit about what your little list of things that a woman must have in order to never leave you or to be a fun wife. And that's why we say, hey, she's not yours, it's just your turn. Because even though you can vet. I mean, there's some things that you have to, right? But, excuse the crassness, but your penis will vet most will do most of the vetting, right? Because if a girl's not attractive, you know, and it doesn't pass the boner test, then she's not attractive. Then there's nothing there, right? First thing. So your penis is doing a lot of the heavy lifting when you first meet a girl. And the guys are like, well, what about moral? I'm like, morals? No, that's women don't really have that many morals. They play off and they have the morals of the strongest man in their life, right? The strongest, most alpha man in their life. And that could be you, right? Or it could be their father, their uncle, or their boss, or whoever, or their political leader, or the guy they're trying to get with. That's the morals of the women. And they have to be like that, right? Because back in the caveman days, if women got any bright ideas about how to run the new tribe, which they got kidnapped too from the old tribe, they would probably get in lots of trouble. So they have to just kind of be like water and be like, okay, I got kidnapped, my old tribe got killed. Hey, I'm moving in with you guys. Whatever you guys want me to do or say, I'll do it. Um, but yeah, um, yeah, that's it on betting. So like I was saying, the Save the West, Christ pill, conservative, Greek statue, Roman statue, Greek statue guys always want to bid for control, and that's why this red pill stuff is one. That's the reason they don't like this red pill stuff, because the red pill says, "Hey, um, we don't care about what we don't even care about what is right. We care about what works." Right. If you want to go help save the country, that has nothing to do with the red pill. That's on you. Right. The red pill doesn't say do or do not. It just says this is what happens when you do this. And we've noticed it. Countless stories, thousands of men online corroborating it, writing it, saying their stories online. Uh, yeah. You can't control a universe. That's the first thing how you get out of your ego, right? You cannot control the universe. Meaning, if a girl rejects you and all that, she's not. There's nothing you can do to kind of flip that. Obviously, if you have enough game or you have, that, but that's like that's anomalous. That's not things that happen every day, right? There are techniques and certain things you can do to flip a rejection, right? I can share them if you guys like, but they don't always work, and it's a waste of your time, right? There's why sort through trash where you could just go to the store and get something new, or go to your shelf or your pantry to get something new than sort through trash that doesn't want you, right? You have to move on and be able to understand that you cannot control the universe because you know a little bit of red pill, or because of your religion, or because or whatever reason, right? Um, Women are the way they are, and they have lots of options. And rejection is one of the options they have, to reject you and go on to something better, right? So yeah. So a lot of guys do understand rejection is a normal thing, and they kind of go out there, right? But here's the problem now. We have now most people who date will date and meet online first, and they exchange social media, whether it be straight to Instagram or maybe you met through Tinder, and then you have them in your social media circle, right? They're seeing what you do on a daily basis. They're seeing what you did 10 days ago, 20 days ago, 6 months ago, depending on how many pictures you have in your Instagram. Um, they're seeing so much about you, and they can comment. They're like, "Oh, cute dog," or "Hey, you look kind of cute," or "Yeah, blah blah," right? All these things, and they paint a picture of you based on your social media. Hopefully, your social media profile is good, and you can kind of pick her interest and all that. But let's say you guys go on a date, or sorry, let's say you set up a date, and she says, "Can't that day? I have this." You're like, "Okay, cool, not a big deal. How about this? Can't that day because this." Okay, what's happening here, guys, is it's called the soft rejection, and this is the real. This is the worst. It's worse than rejection. A yes girl is the best. The girl that says like, "Yes, let's do it. Let's go on a date. Let's go hang out. I want to see you again. Let's fuck. Let's fuck again. Whatever." No girl is great because it's just like, "No, I don't want to waste your time. Get out of my face. Whatever." And you're like, "Thank God I didn't have to deal with that longer than I had to." And then maybe the girls that soft reject you and keep you on that, you know, slow drip, or drip feeding you or breadcrumbing you little tidbits of attention to make you feel like there's still a chance. Those are the girls you have to be the most careful with. Those are the girls that will ruin your dating life if you are not careful. right? Maybe girls are the absolute worst women to deal with in the dating in the dating environment, right? Because they like the attention of a guy. You may be attracted to them, but they may have something better, right? Or they are in a relationship and you don't know it, or whatever reason, they are on social media because they need attention. They need validation. They just got broken up with, divorced, or rejected by another guy, and they need to go to social media to pick up the pieces of their ego. And you are the victim. So this comes in many forms, right? First off, you have uh, like the girls that constantly postpone dates and move around dates, right? And then eventually it's like 2 weeks in and you're just like, wait a minute, like I've been talking and conversing with this girl for 2 weeks and she keeps saying we should meet up soon and then goes and then this and this, that, blah, blah, blah. Right. And then eventually you realize like I wasted hours on the phone or minutes texting, stopping what I was doing and texting. I blocked out certain days that I could have been doing something else to meet her. I rearranged my schedule, and she'd never even met up, right? And that is dangerous, right? You see how dangerous that is, because while the maybe girls kind of slow drip or drip feed you, the possibility of implied future pussy, um, they don't ever give it, right? So what's happening is that the yes girls are like you're a block of time for that could have been for a yes girl is given up for a maybe girl texting or a maybe girl phone call, right? So you have to manage your investment in women that are maybe girls. You have to find out fast, right? Now, abundance helps with this, right? Let's say you already have two girls that you're seeing and you are bringing in another girl for your harem because you can handle it. And then the third girl is like, you say, hey, let's go meet at this bar. Let's have drinks. I want to see you. And the girl's like, I can't. I'm free Friday, which it could be 4 days away. So when women kick the can down the street that far for a date, that's a soft rejection. She's saying, I don't want to meet you that bad. I have something else lined up. You are just a backup, or I need attention. You look like my ex, or whatever reason, or she's feeling attracted to you in the moment, but like tomorrow she'll wake up different, right? That's a soft rejection, and it's much easier to get rid of a girl that's a maybe girl because you're already very well taken care of. You have two women in the wings and all that stuff. However, if you don't have anything and you're just trying to restart a harmony, or is this your first time you're getting out there and you're having a rough go at it, right? Um, Basically, what ends up happening is that you tend to invest a little more naturally because you don't have any girls or you don't have a prospect for a date. So what ends up happening is that you kind of get taken for a ride, right? However, you don't have any other girls, meaning you probably don't have to sacrifice this girl for others, right? But you should always, when dealing with maybe girls, as soon as they say like start rescheduling or kicking the can down the street for a date or postpone the date or whatever, start thinking in your mind, start demoting her, right? We're going to talk about hierarchies of rejection and all that stuff and all that. Where she is soft rejecting you, you are hard rejecting her. Not because it makes you feel like you got some ego and you're just like, oh, I'm better than this bitch or something. Like, no, you're not better than her. She's, just the girl. You don't know her. You don't know her. You don't have to be this. You don't have to involve your ego. You're doing it because it's pragmatic. It's like running a business. When you have a prospect, if the prospect isn't promising, right, then you push her down the priority list, right? The yes girls go to the top. The no girls get kicked out immediately, and the maybe girls you just kind of put down on the bottom. The yes girls may not be the girls that you want all the time, and they may be girls that are not attractive, maybe a little chubby, maybe a little annoying, but they are better than the maybe girls that are super hot, right? Because if a girl's super hot as a maybe girl, she has the power to drag you for days and weeks for a date, right? But the yes girls won't waste your time, and time is something that you cannot get back, right? When you are older, if you guys aren't there yet, you want to realize that maybe girls is a diabolical, horrible person, right? Because she's taken away from your personal time, and as you get older, your personal time matters and more to you, right? The nights you could spend at home doing things that you want to do, or out with your friends doing that you want to do, she's robbing from you by changing around dates and making you feel like, hey, your time is not important. You got to accommodate me, which in itself, if you accept, is a demonstration of lower value, right? Let's get some of these chats. Okay, we got. I'm tired of being a good person. Yeah, I'm tired, Grandpa. That's too damn bad. LFG, let's fucking go. Perception and image is important to women. Yes. We got Riley in the chat. What's up, Riley? Be okay with women calling you shallow. Yeah, guys, I want to let you know that no matter how good or bad you are as a man, they're still not gonna be happy. You can be the nicest, perfect dude. They nothing. It doesn't work with women. The only thing that will work with women is being attractive. That's it. Serio, as the old man used to say, the chora knows. Okay. Too many men get butt hurt. A lot of times women reject you through their behavior. Exactly. That's what we're talking about. Leading you on, right? If you allow, women will waste your fucking time, right? Because a lot of guys think that women are like us, that we just want sex, but they kind of like need to get to know you first. No. What woman's pussy is to them, our time and attention is to us, right? You can give them a little time and attention, right? But that's how they, like Patrice O'Neill, that's how they fuck us, is time and attention, right? They get more satisfaction off getting your time and attention for nothing than we get out of sex, right? Some women just love to waste your time, and it gives them euphoric feelings knowing that there's a guy that she stood up, that she had on the phone for hours, um, and that he's probably frustrated and talking to his boys on a group chat or something. And you are mad, still mad, when in reality you should be moving on to another girl, and it could even be her sister or her friend, right? You're free. So exactly, the medium is the message. How do I ask a girl to dance at the Latin bar? Good question. We'll get to that. Nuke, is it possible to develop an abundance mindset if you have no girls? Very, 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 very difficult. Very difficult, my friend, but it is possible. You gotta have a serious relationship early this year. Happen to come across an amazing woman shortly after. Put yourself out there and you'll be amazed what happens. Yes. You have to live life. You have to be the man in the arena. You can't be scared of all these things. You're gonna get hurt anyway. You're just putting off inevitable hurt. So why not take life on by the horns? If you're high value, you don't need to worry about being dumped. You will always be in demand. Yeah, because when a girl dumps you, she does you a favor, right? She has basically delivered you to the world, saying, "Hey, this high value guy, whatever you want to call it, I don't like using that word, but sure, this high value guy, have at it, ladies. I gave him up. I didn't think he was good enough." And most of the time, though women are hypergamous, men become incredibly pragmatic after a shitty relationship, and they'll be like, "Why am I working so hard for this girl that's not attractive when I can get something better?" And that's a beautiful thing to watch, right? That's why a lot of times women, when they get their heart broken, they get the world the world gets another TikTok making, angry tweeting, sad consumerist person into the world, right? While when a guy gets his heart broken, the world gets another masterpiece, right? I don't remember who said that quote, but I will probably tweet it tonight. So, but anyways, guys, great. Let's see. What is how to ask a girl to dance at the Latin bar? You just do. Would you like to dance? Why are you complicating this? Would you like to dance? And if you're not that good, let her know. Like, hey, I'm still learning. Want to help me practice? And there you go. It's not. I don't. This is not a science, guys. You just say, "Hey, would you like to dance?" There is no cheat. There's no cheating. There's no cheat code to this. So, all right. Anyways, so soft rejection is rejection. It's hope, pussy. She's selling you on hope. Like, if you keep talking to me, I might let you have some of this box. Just keep giving me attention and asking me questions that you should be asking me on a date. keep going, and then eventually you just wasted 2 weeks, and she goes on to the next guy, right, or goes back to her ex. So yeah, like not confirming a date, saying they're busy and postponing. One word text doesn't contribute much to the conversation. And realize, guys, that this is how women hold you hostage: is soft rejection, right? It's not a blatant in their face, right? They want to squeeze you for every bit of attention they can get out of you. Sometimes dates. Sometimes they agree to go on a date, and then you go on a date. They get a night. They get a night of drinks, and even worse, if you're dumb enough, dinner, and all that stuff, and time and attention, and they get that the ego of having to pull you out of your apartment, doing what you would have wanted to do, what you prefer to do, to hang out with her, and now she is satisfied because she effed your time and attention, which is like how you feel when you eff a girl. Um, Same thing, right? So yeah, they're holding you hostage. Stop letting women hold you hostage. You ask them out on a date. It doesn't have to be within the 5 seconds of matching them. It doesn't have to be within 5 seconds of you meeting them, right? But within the first encounter, whether it be text or in person, you ask them out on a date. If you don't, congratulations. She's starting to, she will realize, like, hey, this guy is not that serious, but I'm gonna squeeze him for some attention if he hangs around. So yeah, don't let them keep you hostage. So how does one create armor or get over rejection or make it just like, it's nothing, right? Outcome independence, right, is something it's earned, right? It's not something that you can just flip a switch and be like, oh, I'm outcome independent now. I don't care. The truth is, it's not that easy. You don't just get to say, hey, I don't care. Right? A lot of guys, especially the Zoomer guys, they make these TikToks about, oh, I don't care. I'm gonna lift weights, and I'm going to uh work hard, and I'm going to grind, and eventually no one will say no to me. I'll be so attractive that no one will say no. And then they realize um that they get to a point in life where they start asking women, and they start having a social life, and the women still say no, right? Less women do, but a lot women say no, right? And then they get mad, and they become incels, or they become Christ bros, or whatever version of I don't want to face reality. And here we are, uh, getting attacked by them on Twitter or on my YouTube streams or in real life or on a podcast because I decided to make my happiness my problem. And I didn't expect that because I made a certain amount of money that women have to say yes. Or because I came first and took her virginity, she has to stay with me. Or again, I have to control the universe by using little tricks and hacks, right? Like if I make this amount of money, women will fall from the sky. My perfect woman will fall from the sky. Or if I take a girl's virginity or get a girl with a low body count, she'll be soul bonded to me forever because I came first. And that's how it is. I'm like, no, 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 no. You still have a burden performance. You still have to be attractive. And also, you still have to understand that women leave. She's not yours, just your turn. That your happiness should never stem from a woman, right? And that's it. It's such an easy, easy thing to understand, but it's not easy to swallow. So all right. So uh, you have to have abundance, right? Because through abundance, it teaches you that women aren't that special, that each one is pretty much similar to the next. The only difference is going to be that, little quirks in their personality. And other than that, there really isn't anything special. Like most of them are the same. Just like most men, we're kind of the same too in the things we want in a relationship, right? Same thing with women. And women listen to other women a lot, especially online. They listen to other women, and they're all gonna be like kind of similar in the way they do business, right? So don't get so if you got one hot chick to be your girlfriend or to hook up with, and and then she ghosted you after, or never went on a second date with you, or whatever. Realize just that you can get two, because if one said yes, that means another one somewhere is going to say yes, right? Maybe you tighten your logistics a little bit. Maybe you continue learning some game. Maybe you put yourself in more situations where you meet hotter women, whatever, right? But at least you know it's possible, right? And that's one of the big components of abundance is it's understanding the possibility, right? Because that's one of the things that incels can't understand, right? Because incels will be, it's impossible. You have to have a jawline, or you have to have this type of hair, these type of eyes. You got to look like this celebrity, right? Well, when a guy breaks away from that mindset and he gets with the chick, even any chick, right, or maybe a hot chick, he understands for the first time in his life that it is possible. That all the people that are saying that you have to make six figures, or all the people that are saying that it's impossible, you have to look like this, or all these like fake kind of like obstacles that guys put in their head that to protect their ego from rejection, and you decided to say, no, I'm going to try this, my happiness is my problem, and you go out and you just so happen a hot chick falls in your lap, you're just like, what the hell? And you just kind of play the game, you stick to your game, and you enjoy her and you hook up, and then you realize like it is possible. And once you understand that it's possible, it's not that it's all downhill, but that renews your motivation, your resolve to go out and meet more women, because you realize it is possible. And a lot of guys don't understand that. And that is why abundance is important, right? And also, over time, your confidence may wane because you haven't had a hot chick in a long time, right? And I understand that. But understand too that if you once did it, you can do it again, right? You just have to change your approach, or kind of recreate, what did I do to get this girl, right? And if you look at it, maybe there's a lot of things that came in place, right? Maybe you had a lot of social proof in the place you met her. Maybe you were her type. Basically, you like, have a look, like you had the look she wanted, right? Maybe you had a leather jacket on and a V-neck, and she's like, I like those type of guys that, like, or maybe you were wearing like I don't know, Nike slides and Gymshark joggers, or Gymshark sweats, and you look like a fuck boy or something, and she's like into that. And then so start thinking, reverse engineer that opportunity you have, and realize that, hey, this being with your first really hot chick, like by the strength of your game, not like you're in college drunk and you hook up with the hot chick. I mean, like you went out, you matched with the girl, you met her in person, and you gamed her, and you were patient, and then she popped up, and then you took the leap, and you decided to take her back to your apartment, and you hooked up, and everything went well. When you finally get to that point, not only does it create a new belief system that it can happen and it's possible, it also creates this kind of ego death. And I don't like using the word ego death, because maybe a week ago before this, you got rejected by a 4 out of 10 girl, a 5 out of 10 girl, a 6 out of 10 girl. And you had an 8 out of 10 girl, moaning your name yesterday. So what does that say about rejection? That means it's not personal. It's not personal. It means that sometimes a girl may go out, right, to just get hit on by men because she is unattractive, and she wants you to know that, she is attractive. And the only way by some, especially unattractive people, feel attractive is by rejection, rejecting them. It makes them feel like they have power, right? And you give it to them by taking it personally. And that's a crazy time in a young man's life, in a guy's life in general, where he gets rejected by a 5 out of 10 girl that's not attractive, but then an 8 out of 10 falls in his lap shortly after. It's a mind fuck. Like, you don't know what to do with yourself. You're like, well, how did this happen? You start thinking, oh, it must have been the stars aligned, or maybe this girl, maybe she's not that hot, right? And then you show her to your friends. Your friends are like, Jesus, dude, holy crap! How did you do that, right? You're just like, okay, well, she is hot, but like, you start finding excuses for why you're not that guy, that you're not him, that you don't deserve it. And that is also another thing, that rejection, that you must get over, right? You have to really get over the fact that it is about you, that this rejection is about you. It is not about you, right? Because if there's 8 out of 10 girls that are just like so down to hang out with you, and maybe they only hang out with you 1 or 2 times, because really hot chicks have lots of offers, and maybe they get picked up by high level men. But just like I told a friend today, You can't. I can't unsex you. You had sex. You did it. You had sex and you brush it off your shoulder. And you're just like, yeah, I did that. No one can ever take that away from you. You can't undo the past. There's no Thanos snapping his fingers to go back to the past or the future or whatever. This happened. It will always be yours. You hooked up with a hot chick by the strength of your game, attractiveness, your savvy, and a little bit of luck, maybe a little bit of logistics that you yourself put into place. So you're gonna let a 4 out of 10 girl that you met at salsa night kind of give you a gross look like ill and let that affect you, right? No, you are the man. You are the man. You did it. It wasn't luck. It was you. You had to say things. You had to engineer a whole life of hard work of self improvement in order for this hot blonde or this hot Asian chick or this hot whatever you like to be moaning your name while her phone absolutely blows up all day and all night. One thing about hot chicks, guys, is that when you have them over or you're in their vicinity, their phone is going to be constantly blowing up, right? Because there's so many offers from guys and so much attention that they're getting. And here you are in front of her, and she's saying, "Excuse me," and she's turning over her phone or silencing her phone, right? And she did that for you, and you're mad that a 5 out of 10 chick said no. Get over it. Let yourself be the man. Let yourself be him. It's okay to be confident, right? It's not ego because ego is, hey, I'm protecting myself from looking stupid, right? It's different. It's confidence, right? And that is what you get from abundance. At first, maybe abundance will be a bunch of ugly chicks or mid chicks, right? But over time, um, they get a little hotter, right? And maybe you start get going after the chicks that you really want, right? But everyone's got to start somewhere. So yeah. Let's see. I don't know, game, how to approach fear of rejection. Exactly. Oh well, okay, well, yeah. Are you social? Are you likable? Do you have a strong group of friends? That I always start there, right? Think of the most likable person that you know in real life and what makes them likable. What makes you want to be around them? And think about that before you kind of say, "Oh, I don't understand game. It's too crushingly difficult." I'm like, "Well, think about the most likable person you know and how or why they're so good at game." You don't need any money to deal with women. Lead, hold your frame, and figure it out. Yeah, you do need a little money depending on logistics, but like money for like a better apartment. 70 bucks once a week to take a girl out if you're serious. But that's like most people can afford that, right? I understand what you're saying. Late again, Nuke. Yeah, I had sound problems. I might get a new audio interface. It's just acting weird. I don't like it, but if you haven't attempted, it would be helpful to try and see the results to have data points and pattern recognition. Any lifting weights need to feel a weight to find improvement. Right, exactly. Uh, Girls are in their world, yes. Positive feedback loop, so I just have to get my first girl somehow to start it. Yes. Because the thing is, one thing about rejection is that you feel farther away from women, you feel farther away from the goal because you think that one woman's rejection is representative of the whole gender. Like I was saying again, there will be girls that are very hot that are going to say, "Yes, let's do it. You're hot, you're amazing." And then there's going to be ugly girls going to be like, "Ill, you're disgusting, you're gross," right? Whether you want to take that person or not is your problem. I'd never take it personally. They don't know me. They don't know anything about me, right? Why would I take it personally? They just know how I look, right? And that's it. So never take it personally. It's not your fault. There's so many things beyond you, right, that make it so that she'll say no to you. All right. I don't know what that is. What is that? Be attractive, don't be unattractive. Yes, pretty much. That really, literally, that simple. Anyways, moving on, guys. Um, so basically, outcome depends is earned. It's not a switch you flip in your head at will. You have to work at it. You have to get over yourself over time. Abundance helps tremendously. and it convinces you there will always be another girl, regardless. And also, regardless of what happens, you are still you. The rejection is not going to change the course of your life. If I go out to salsa night tomorrow night or whatever, and I ask a girl to dance, and I dance with her, and we start talking, and she throws a drink in my face, right? I would just dry my face, depending on my mood. Maybe it'll put me in a bad mood, or maybe I don't care. I go home, I wake up, I'm still me. Nothing has changed in my life. I just got a girl threw a cup of water in my face. That's it. It doesn't change anything, guys. Um, so, should you keep girls that reject you around? Should you have them in the wings? Should you have them maybe in case they say yes, right? This is a nuanced question because it there's different girls and different ways of how what their role was in your life, right? For example, I would say that if you added her on social media and you never met her, she never wanted to meet you, then no, you shouldn't have her. She's invisible. She doesn't know who you are. You're just another person uh, in her Instagram followers that she doesn't care about, right? Just a number. So no, there's no reason to have that person. She refused to meet you, and that's not going to change, right? Um, if you went on a date with her and nothing sexual happened and there was no second date, then no. When I say sexual, I mean kissing, some kind of like escalation. If none of that happened and she never wanted a second date, then no, there's no reason to have her. She wasted your time. Maybe she didn't like you or whatever. So yeah, um, if you hooked up with her, yes, but you should mute her on social media. Don't give her any ounce of attention, not even a view on her story. Just mute them. And maybe one day she breaks up with her, whatever her new boy toy is, or her boyfriend or whatever she has, and then she remembers a good memory of you plowing her, and she's like, "Hey, let me hit him up, see what he's doing." Happens all the time, guys. The important thing is that for these type of girls that you did hook up with, um, don't check like ensure that you had a positive relationship with them, and also ensure that if they do slide in your DMs, quickly set up a date. You know, quickly, because they're going to check that, oh, is this guy going to try to F me, or is this guy going to, or can I waste his time and get my validation from him? Right. And they'll decide that real quick. So make sure that if a old past flame that comes in your DMs, um, tries talking to you, kind of set it up real quick. Right. I'm not saying within the first 5 seconds or two messages, but at least steer the conversation in that first encounter to ask her out. Right. Um, you already hit it. You have nothing to lose. If she rejects you, it's not a big deal. Um, but don't delete these women, right? I have a story, a military story that illustrates this, right? When I was in the military, and I wrote about this on my Patreon, guys. So yes, I have a new Patreon post. I wrote it today. Go check out the Patreon and subscribe. It's only $5 a month, whatever. Um, but anyway, so when I was in the Navy, we wore these coveralls, and they had really deep pockets, very comfortable and loose. Great for sailing and all that stuff. And we, when it was lunchtime, we go to the galley and grab food. And sometimes there was cookies, and they were individual, and they were wrapped in plastic wrap, right? And these cookies, as compared to the rest of the food, were really good. I enjoyed these cookies a lot. They made my day sometimes when they were out. However, sometimes the main food was pretty good, and I would get full off that. And then I had this cookie that I got um, in front of me, and I was like, I can throw this away, or I can give it to somebody. And instead of throwing it away or giving it away or putting it back or whatever, I just put it in my pocket. And you know what happens with a lot of things we put in our pocket, especially if you have deep pockets, is that you essentially you forget about it. I don't feel it. My pockets are too deep. I got other stuff in my pockets, pens, papers. So you wear the same overalls almost every day. You clean them once a week, right? Because it's a ship. You don't have the luxury of cleaning all your stuff whenever you want. You clean it when everyone else throws their stuff in the laundry. So the next day, the food is terrible, and you're just like, oh, I can't eat that, or I'll have a little bit of this, but and then as you're in the line, you grab your food. Uh, you reach into your pocket, and in your pocket is the cookie from yesterday. It's still in plastic wrap. It's still good. You haven't taken a bite out of it, but you realize, holy crap, I forgot about this cookie. I'm so glad I saved it because now I get to have a nice cookie, and I don't have to worry about not being full or not enjoying my meal because now I have this cookie that it'll fill me up. Or if you maybe you wake up one day, you're just like, I'm kind of hungry, but all I have time for is a coffee, right? So you go to the mess hall or the galley, and then you grab coffee, you run down to your workshop or your office, and then you're sipping your coffee, and then you realize, oh shit, I got a cookie in my pocket. So now you get to enjoy a cookie with your coffee in the morning, right? All because you had the foresight to not get rid of something that could have benefited you in the future. And as you guys see, that same thing applies with women, right? There are women that may waste your time. There are women that may come off mean. There are women that may have had sex with you and then ran away, right? But put them in your pocket. Mute them on social media. Don't give them the attention, right? But put them in your pocket. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be a time, guys, where you're going to get tired of meeting new women. You're going to get tired. You're going to be like, I'm sleepy. I don't feel like going out. I don't feel like drinking. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like meeting strangers for a while. I got better things to do, or I'm busy, or I just simply am burnt out from dating like I am right now. I'm not even dating anymore because I'm burnt out. Um, and, I'm deleting my dating apps. But um, you're going to have those cookies in your pocket that just show up, right? Just girls that, hey, I haven't seen you for a while. Or girls that kind of slide in your DMs simply because you put that cookie in your pocket. You didn't end on a bad note. You didn't try to hold them accountable in the messages. That taking rejection is very important, right? You have to learn that it's not personal and stop trying to explain to women how bad they are because they rejected you. That is simp behavior. That is loser behavior. However, if you stop taking the rejection personally, right, you will find that you will get more women, even the ones that reject you, back. It's not a guarantee, right? But it will save you lots of effort trying to meet new girls, or especially if you don't want to date when old girls are coming back into your life, right? Um, I kind of got a lot of, I kind of went semi-viral, well, not viral, but I got a lot of attention when everyone's like, "What do I say to this girl?" A couple of months ago, maybe last year around this time, where I said, "Hey, when a girl rejects you because she found somebody or she's dating somebody, like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm seeing someone." I basically said, "Hey, don't mess this up. You got this." Instead of getting mad, instead of saying, "Why didn't you tell me?" Communication, blah blah blah. I just say, "Hey, uh, don't mess this up. You got this." Right? That's a powerful statement that sends to somebody who is expecting you to be mad, who is expecting you to feel sad. That's like, you just demonstrated higher value. You said, "Hey, I don't need you to live. I prefer you being happy over, dealing with you." So the force of which that woman came back into my life about 90 days later, because failed relationships, usually 90 days, false start, you know, we matched literally almost right on the 90-day mark. This was last year, around May. And we got together again and we picked up right where we left off. Lots of hooking up. I could have gotten mad at her. I could have deleted her out of my life. I could have blocked her. Nope. I didn't even. All I did it was mute her. She unfollowed me. I did was mute her. I didn't care. No response. Just, hey, good luck and don't mess this up. And I had all the right to be like, hey man, that's messed up. I didn't know you were seeing someone until the other day. You told me we hooked up 2 weeks ago. I could have made it about me, right? But Instead of that, I'm just like, hey, she's not my girlfriend. We're just hooking up. She doesn't owe me anything. And I took it to the chin, right in the chin. Guess what? I got another plate or another free plate added 90 days later, and I didn't have to even work that hard. I just said, oh, shit. Hey, welcome back. Cool. And this happens all the time, guys. And it happened a couple months later. I just reached out to a girl that said, hey, I don't want you in my life anymore. And it's not like um, it was like a bad kind of like separation of us, right? But simply, I just said, hey, let's meet up for dinner, And then she didn't answer for a week, and I'm like, okay, I guess whatever. Outcome independent, don't care. Week later, she picks up or she texts me saying, hey, let's have dinner Saturday, and then we have dinner and take her home. Those are going to be some of the most satisfying, most hot nights of sex you will ever have. And it's hard to explain. The nervousness, the and then all of a sudden within 30 minutes of the day, it feels like no time has passed, like a movie almost, right? And then the sex is like pretty amazing, right? Because you get with somebody that you already conquered, you conquered their heart, their soul, whatever you want to call it, and you're falling during this date all the way to sex. It's like the familiarity and the comfort starts setting in for both of you, right? I recommend every man to experience this once, right? It is almost surreal. It doesn't feel real. It's almost like a beautiful thing, right? And I think it makes a lot of women. That's why they get addicted to their exes, even though they don't want to get back with them. It's because they have that feeling that, hey, this person left, and I can never see them again, but they showed up. So it's like an opportunity thing. I want to relive this moment, right? And the sex is even more better than it was, right? Because you remind them of a time before their shitty relationship that she left you for, of a time where she was free, happy, doing whatever she wanted, banging dudes left and right, and banging you. Um, and you kind of like help her reignite that kind of like fun time in her life, right? So, uh, yeah, I know I romanticize it a little bit, right? But I just want you guys to understand that like being too gung ho and being too emotional and taking rejection personal is going to take out a portion of your life that you may enjoy deeply, right? You don't want to live a life where you take everything so personal, right? So think about that, guys. Anyways, that's all I have. It's nice talking to you guys. It's a great show. We got a lot of viewers, 26 viewers on YouTube, one on Twitch, and 220 on X. So great viewership, guys. Thanks for all that. I don't see any crazy questions. I think I saw this one. How do you get over rejection? Just brute force it. I mean, I just talked about the whole video, dude. You don't take it personally. You get over your ego and you keep approaching and realize that most women will say no. You will feel like you're a loser sometimes. It's okay. That's normal, right? Um, but it's not about you. They're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the presentation of you, right? And not only that, they may reject you. They don't even know why they're rejecting you, right? Don't take it personal. So didn't even phase me. What didn't phase you? What didn't even phase me? Yep, cookie in the pocket. Thank you, past Nuke. Exactly. Cool approach. If you were invited to FNF, would you go on? Sure. Um, they're not bad faith. They're not trying to make me look stupid, so I don't see why I couldn't, why I wouldn't. You know, it's always nice to push the clout button once in a while, but Um, I have a lot of opportunities now to push the clout button, but it's something I have to really think about if I want to and all that. Oh, look, we have a $199 from Matthew, sir. You get one of these.
Thank you so much, best friend.
All right. Quick Dos Equis donation. Yes, I will use that tomorrow, sir. Thank you very much. Nuclear, you said you got a drink splash in your face. You just went on with your life. It didn't phase you. The story is worse. I had a knife pulled on me by a woman, but that's a story for another day. I use drink because it's easier to relate to, but actually had a knife pulled on me. But that was in college. But in general, women will say mean, shitty things to you sometimes, right? Because they can get away with it. No one's gonna check them. No one's gonna hit them or anything like that. But nothing hurts a woman more than you hitting it off with your friend. So it's something to think about. But those are stories for other days, guys. I gotta go to bed. I'm working at midnight tonight, so I gotta go to bed. But Fresh be like, think about this. Yeah, that's funny. We gotta get a knife pull defense stream. No, I talked my way out of that one. Did you master your way out of it? It was more like I didn't know what was going on, so I backed off and I was quiet. So it's story for another day. But yes, I usually amuse mastering my way out of all things, right? Most bad situations, right? So thanks, guys. You guys know where to find me. I'm going to put the link tree in the chat again. Follow me on all platforms. Guys, consider joining the Patreon. We have a group chat going, and it's $5 a month. I post articles and stuff like that. You guys can comment on the articles and all that. And it's much more personal. Sometimes I post field reports and all that stuff. It's very personal. It'll help support the channel, and I can keep doing this, right? Because at some point, life will get busy, or I may get a different job or something. I'm not going to be able to do this or justify it, right? I need to focus on other things. So thank you. Thanks, Nuclear, for answering my questions. I'm just lost, but I'll figure it out. Yeah, we all start somewhere, my friend. Just if you have any issues or you want coaching, DM me on Instagram or Twitter, and we can set up a 1 hour course and not course, but a 1 hour meeting, and we could just talk. Give you a mindset kind of like, or just a step one and a step two to get you going, right? Because it's not that guys lack desire, they just don't know where to begin, right? So realize I started this stuff 4 years ago, so it's fresh in my mind. I know how you guys feel and all that, so consider that. Other than that, guys, Thursday 7 p.m. I will stream again. And yeah, comment below for any ideas for another show or anything that you find helpful, guys. I just dropped a pool game video. My last video was pool game, and it was really good. I talked about everything you need to have a successful pool season, meeting women, what you need, how to dress, what to say, the different types of pools, all that stuff. And I think I may do a seminar on Patreon on for this upcoming pool season on how to enjoy and come out ahead with women during a pool season, right? Because as you know, pools, especially rooftop pools, are the most sexual zone that exists. Everyone's half naked, drinking, pushed together in a pool with the sun out. Everyone's dehydrated and getting drunk even faster, and it's during the day, right? So you can't get any more sexual than that. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching me. Thanks for your time. And I will see you next time. Good night.
You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet.